Hello everyone, this is my 7-round NFL mock draft for the Los Angeles Rams using PFF's simulator. If you love making mock drafts and using draft simulators, I'd go check them out, profootballfocus.com. You've probably more than likely already heard of them, but if you haven't, check them out, check out their website. They're a bunch of fantastic guys and I really love their opinions and analysis. Okay, anyway, enough with that. Let's move on to the Rams draft. At number 52, I selected Terrell Lewis, edge, Alabama University, and at 57, I selected Jonah Jackson, guard, Ohio State. I want to talk about those two together as a group. Edge is certainly a place that the Rams need. They have Aaron Donald in the middle, obviously, but losing Dante Fowler now and not really having anyone to replace him. I'm not super high on Terrell Lewis, but I think he was the best edge available at this point. And also, a quick note about how I view the draft. I have different tiers of players. I go top 3, top 15, top 50, top 120, and then after that, I consider players equivalent to undrafted free agents, UDFAs. Now, Terrell Lewis I have in the tier of top 120. What does that mean? It means that I consider him a player between 51 and 120. That's where I'm going to select him. So to select him at pick 52 is actually kind of high, and I don't really love it, but edge is such a need, and the edge class for this draft is really quite weak. So I'm like, screw it. If I don't take an edge player here, I'm not going to, like, later on, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So I just kind of bit the bullet and took him there. I still think he's got solid upside. He was a really highly recruited guy, but he hasn't shown consistency on the field, and he's had injury issues as well. So he is a risk, but that's why he's going the number 52 as opposed to like in the top 20 or top 10. Jonah Jackson, he's just an amazing guard prospect. He's probably the best one in this draft for my money. He has really great balance. He's a plus pass protector. He could probably get maybe a little stronger, a little better in the run game, but the Rams, as you know, they need offensive line help. They couldn't block hardly anyone. The line 2 years ago was really good. The line this past year dropped off a cliff almost. So any and all help that they can get. So I took the best guard prospect here, and I consider him a top 50 player. So it's not atrocious. Positional value wise, you don't want to be taking guards really all that highly, but he's the best guard available, and he's a top 50 player to me, so I selected him at number 57. Moving on to pick number 84 is Matt Pert, tackle, University of Connecticut, UConn. He's a guy that I like quite a bit. He looks kind of funny when he pass protects because he does this kind of wonky kind of shuffle, and it looks a little weird, but he just gets it done sort of in a similar vein. I'm not saying he's Dalton Reisner to any regard, but they're both similar to me in the fact that they both just win, and they win kind of ugly. Matt Pert specifically has really super long arms, and I think that helps him a lot and kind of negates the fact that he might not have the greatest lateral quickness in the world. So we have a tackle, we have a guard that's really going to help out the Rams in their offensive line and try and get it back to average, which is really important. Moving on to the next couple of selections, I took Harrison Bryant, tight end, out of FAU, and then I took Logan Stenberg, another guard, out of the University of Kentucky here. Yes, there's some okay talent on the roster at the tight end position. Why I took Harrison Bryant was because I didn't feel there was any other player that I really liked at all at this pick. So I'm like, once again, I'm like, screw it. He's the most valuable player in my mind, and I think he would be an upgrade at least, or at least really strong competition for the other tight ends that are already on the roster. Logan Stenberg, he's just more depth, more competition, another player that'll hopefully improve that line, and he's I consider him like something like a top 120 guy. So at 126, I think that's perfectly fine to select another guard there. Well, not perfectly fine, but it's acceptable, I suppose. And then the last two selections, 199, Khaleke Hudson, linebacker slash safety out of University of Michigan, and then 234, Jordan Mack, linebacker, University of Virginia. Both of these players are just depth players. I'm not in love with the picks once again, but I don't hate them. You can obviously see the grade of 65.5 overall that PFF has given this draft. Honestly, the way that this draft specifically and this simulation fell, I I was constantly just not really in love or enthralled or super enthusiastic about the picks, but I tried to make the best of it, and I think this is kind of realistic for what the Rams could get. And really, honestly, the Rams are kind of in a little bit of a dark place because of the I know they released Gurley, but there's dead money and some other players that they have there that they've given a bunch of money to, like Jalen Reagor and Aaron Donald, are really, really good, but they're paying top of the market money for them. So really, I think the thing that the Rams need the most is just more draft picks, more depth, more cheap good players, and I feel like I achieved that fairly well. I wouldn't give myself an A+ by any regard for this draft, but I certainly give myself something like a B. It strengthens the offensive line, which Goff really needs to succeed, or it's going to be a really big benefit for him to have that. And it addresses a couple other needs like edge and some defensive linebackers because they lost Corey Littleton. Okay, well, thank you very much if you've made it the entire way through. I really do appreciate you listening and sticking with me the entire way. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.